clarification. According to this, Defense Secretary Chuck Hagel shot down reports that the Obama administration is considering a change of targets in its fight against the Islamic State. And this you can get on Al Monitor, the Middle East source. So he is asked by Jackie Speier, Democrat of California. She is interestingly against training and equipping the Syrian democratic terrorists, right? The wonderful Free Syrian Army of Terrorism, interchangeable in a moment's notice with al-Nusra and or ISIS or anything else. Hagel says, Assad is part of the equation, of course, but just alone dealing with Assad where we are now, that's not going to put ISIS, the Islamic State, back into the box. And turns out that the substance, we have a memorandum from Hagel which talks about these same things, right? This goes back to early October. So there's a memorandum from Hagel to Rice, early October, saying the U.S.-Syria policy is incoherent. Now, much of the coverage of that memo had tried to portray this as Hagel saying, we've got to attack Assad as well. And it turns out, in reality, it is the opposite of that. He has said the opposite of what many of the warmongers wanted him to say. Getting back to the hearings yesterday, Thursday, the 13th of November, he says, actually this article, and this is Al Monitor, Hagel wrote a sharp memo to Susan Rice last month, urging a sharper focus, sharp, on solving the year-long conflict in Syria. But he says the Islamic State is the main target. Quote, we could change Assad today, and that's not going to change all the dynamics. Who are you going to replace Assad with? What kind of an army can take on ISIL? There is an operational planning conference this week. This is another trigger for these events. An operational planning conference at the Central Command headquarters in Tampa, Florida this week. 190 military planners from 30 nations laying the groundwork on how to deploy forces against the ISIS people. And then he does go on to say, look, the position of the United States remains that Assad has lost the legitimacy to govern, but there is no purely military solution to the conflict in Syria. Alongside our efforts to isolate and sanction the Assad regime, our strategy is to strengthen the moderate rebels, and on and on. All right, so this is extremely interesting, and let's think about what we might compare this to. Well, there is the famous moment in March 1999, the wounded Clinton, having just escaped conviction after being impeached, was skeptical about, as we reported it at the time, skeptical about bombing Serbia, but Al Gore gave the order while the Russian Prime Minister Primakov was flying across the Atlantic. He turned back when he got that news, and the possibility of a negotiated solution was out the window. It could have been had then as it was had later. That's one. But I'm thinking of another one, an even more horrendous one from the U.S. point of view, at least. And that is the infamous Cable 243. This is the cable that was issued by Averell Harriman, also of Skull and Bones Kerry, Skull and Bones Averell Harriman. This is August 24th, 1963, just before the Kennedy assassination. And it is a cable that was written principally by W. Averill Harriman, Roger Hilsman, and Michael Forrestal, a stooge of this faction, right, having this family heritage. President Kennedy was on vacation at Hyannis Port, and Defense Secretary McNamara on vacation, even CIA Director John McCone, for whatever that's worth, on vacation. This was the one Kennedy put in after kicking out Allen Dulles. So Kennedy is at Hyannis. Forrestal calls and says, we want to put out a cable, in effect, encouraging the military in South Vietnam to have a coup, right? To overthrow President Diem, kill him, kill his brother, and set up a military dictatorship. Kennedy says to Forrestal, speaking for Harriman, wait until Monday. We'll get everybody back to Washington. But Forrestal says Harriman wants to get the cable out right away. Kennedy then said, get it cleared by somebody else. Harriman and Hilsman recruit other State Department officials. They send it out. They do it behind Kennedy's back, and the result is within a couple of weeks, the assassination of Diem. That's the moment when the U.S. lost the Vietnam War. Skull and Bones Harriman, Skull and Bones Kerry. Beware. Back in a minute.
This hour of GCN brought to you by LeSig, the highest quality smokeless cigarettes, e-liquids, e-cig refills, car chargers, and starter kits. Kick some ash with LeSig. Call 870-525-1440 or visit LeSig.com.
Time and time again.
You need to come here and help us. We need assistance, please.
Those we should be able to depend on let us down.
Federal and state and local officials saying help is on the way. Well, the folks here in Belle Harbor say, show me.
Don't depend on the government to save you. Take action now so that you're prepared for the next disaster with MyPatriotSupply.com. Get the best prices on storable food, non-GMO seeds, water filtration devices, home canning equipment, survival and self-reliance books, and more at MyPatriotSupply.com. Call 866-229-0927.
We are hurting down here and we need help immediately.
Before it's time to survive, it's time to prepare. MyPatriotSupply.com. MyPatriotSupply.com.
Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. 3 square meals you'll need in an emergency. So the Freeze Dry Guys 3 square meal unit sale is just the ticket. A variety pack of tasty, nourishing breakfast, lunch, and dinner on sale now. Breakfast is Freeze Dry Guys' favorite. Hot oatmeal and sweet dehydrated bananas. Lunch is Mountain House freeze-dried hot macaroni and cheese and crisp green beans. And dinner is Mountain House long grain wild rice pilaf and hearty beef stew, vegetables, and gravy. Call Freeze Dry Guy and ask for details on the 126-serving 3 square meals unit. One case normally $164.37. Sale price at only $138.90. Save over $25. Get 2 or 3 cases and save even more. Or ask about Freeze Dry Guys Fall Chili Special. Always free shipping to the lower 48 states. Call 866-404-3663 or click freezedryguy.com. And hurry, the Fall Chili Special and 3 square meals unit are on sale while supplies last. From the Freeze Dry Guy, the finest freeze-dried and dehydrated foods available for long-term storage, period.
We live in a complicated society. Stressful issues are always popping up. Have you ever been treated unfairly by someone? Have you ever been overcharged for a repair? Have you ever signed a contract or a document? Worried about identity theft? How many times have you been in those unique situations where you just wanted to call an attorney to find out if you're right or wrong, or what your legal rights are? But every time you think about calling an attorney, what do you think about first? That's right. Who do you call, and how much will it cost? Our friends at Legal Shield have found a solution. With a nationwide network of 6,900 attorneys who average over 19 years of experience, Legal Shield's law firms take over 40,000 calls per week helping their members. For less than $20 per month, you can have access to Legal Shield on everything from the trivial to the traumatic. Let Legal Shield stand up for your rights at lsprotection.com. That's lsprotection.com. Or call 855-340-SAVE, 855-340-7283.
Results will vary from case to case.
With autumn in the air, it's time to think about getting ready for winter. And it's time to save at herbalhealer.com. You'll find amazing seasonal savings to prepare you for the fight against cold and flu season. Like Oregacillin to promote lung health. 30 capsules, regularly $34.95, now only $25. HHA Olive Leaf, the natural antiviral, normally $16.95, now 60 capsules are just $12. HHA Elderberry Power, a great flu and virus fighter, regularly $16.95, 60 capsules, now $10. Save on all our homeopathic detoxes. Choose from lungs, kidney, liver, brain, libido, or whole body, normally $26.95, now just $20. Visit herbalhealer.com and click on the Fall Winter Specials button to save on all our natural cold and flu fighting products. Also explore our Herbal Healer Academy correspondence courses that teach you how to handle your health naturally. herbalhealer.com, healing the world with nature, one person at a time, since 1988.
UnseenNow.com, proud sponsor of GCN. Unseen Now's unparalleled encryption tools keep your communications secure. GC.
Welcome back to World Crisis Radio. We've reviewed and we will continue to review the tremendous success of the Tax Wall Street Party and Tax Wall Street United Front Against Austerity inspired candidates. If you find that a national destiny appeals to you, don't hesitate to get in touch with me directly. Go to tarpley.net. You should be going there anyway every day to catch up with all sorts of things. You can follow the Twitter from there. But in particular, go to the Speakers Bureau feature. And there's a contact device in there, right? You can contact me, send it on in. It goes direct to me. And if you're interested in running for office, you want to volunteer for other supporting other candidates, you want to be a campaign manager, you want to be a media director, whatever you want to be, this is all purely volunteer. This is to promote the survival of the United States and the world. The American people have an inherent right to live and survive. We're interested in putting that into action. So let me know what you're thinking. And we also want you to, we're going to be talking quite a bit about our pro-Pinckney mobilization, right? We're trying to help Reverend Edward Pinckney, our good friend from Benton Harbor, Michigan, indeed from Michigan in general, internationally recognized spokesperson, avoid the monstrosity of being buried alive in a life sentence. Now, the resentment of the bunglers in the intelligence community is intense. The New York Times on the 29th of September noted that the Syria hands, the specialists in the area, many of them neocons, were so fixated on their hatred of Assad that they ignored ISIS. They let this thing come out of nowhere. The effectiveness of the bombing, well, on just about the same time frame that the anti-Assad people in the administration made their covert move when Obama was out of town. This was the bombing of a convoy with a number of top ISIS leaders, and it was thought for a while that Baghdadi had been killed. Now, there is now a tape by somebody purporting to be Baghdadi. I'm from Missouri on that one. You have to remember when you look at Tamerlane, right? When you look at these people, look at Genghis Khan, right? When the top guy dies or gets killed, things tend to fall apart. You're dealing with something of this sort. And by the way, we're seeing people on television say, oh, look, there's a whole array of other candidates who could take over as the Caliph of Islam. Caliph of the Islamic State means the emperor of an Islamic world empire,